You're watching Tech Talk in affiliation with Tech for Techs. We're a community that supports independent trade with the help of vendors and distributors. We're live every Thursday at 8 p.m. London time, and we'll be streaming to Facebook and YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. You can listen to our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon, Google, TuneIn, and many more. And now, the moment you've been waiting for, and your host, Philip Griffiths.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Tech for Tech's Tech Talk. This is a live show where we help your IT business grow. So I can see people already commenting already. So if you are wanting to obviously talk, comment, tell us about your tips, advice, whatever it may be. Just tell us where you are. Tell us if you can hear and see us. Just comment, let us know. Right. Today, we are talking about becoming a Time Lord, or talking about how to manage your time better and different things like that. Today, I'm joined by Cormac. Are you hearing me, Cormac? You seem to be jumping about a bit.
I can hear you, Philip. I can hear you. Hello, Alison. Yeah. Hello, Nicole. Hello, William. And, yeah. And Phil is frozen in time. Interesting.
Okay, yeah, well, that's how it goes. Can you hear me, though? That's the main thing.
I can hear you loud and clear.
Good. That's the main thing anyway. So it looks like on my preview it's showing me everything's okay, but who knows? Right. Okay. So what was that, Cormac? Sorry.
Let's see. You go on. No, I can see you now again. We'll see. Go on. We'll move on from this and we'll see where we go. Is everyone else seeing us okay out there? Yeah.
Right. Let's start off with your tip and advice of the day, then, Cormac.
Okay, I have a tip and a story. The tip is a marketing tip. We are selling Chromebooks to a local school. We sold a lot, but people were holding off, I would say, because they have some holidays and it's an expensive bill. We're also going on holidays ourselves. I'm a small business, so I only buy a certain amount, you know. And I was hoping, I was kind of hoping to try to get some sold before we go on holidays. So I was put up a post on Friday night. I was Sunday night. I was listening to a podcast on marketing, and we were saying about urgency. So I put up the post, and my post just had one change to its usual sort of thing. I put down the word limited amount of Chromebooks just arrived, and the word limited, which was true in the sense that we can order more if there's more available when we go to order, but limited just turned on the tap and we were just snowed under on Monday and Tuesday. It's amazing. People ring up saying, I heard you have a amount and this and that. It just literally turned on the tap. So that was quite interesting. And then my story of the day is that I made one day helpful techs out there able to help me on this one. We were handed in a laptop, which he said was charging, and when it came in, it charged no problem, but it was a bad hard drive, so we changed the hard drive, and you know the length of time it takes to change the hard drive, update, put all the data back on and everything. Not one problem with the charging, none whatsoever. I rang the customer 4 or 5 times to say we're not getting the issue, and the battery was 70%. But anyway, he came to collect it today. I showed him the chart in front of him. I said, look, I don't like not seeing things happening down our end, but, you know, it's been working 8 hours without one issue. And he brought it home and plugged in and just stopped charging. And I don't have an answer. He's due back with it in the morning. It's just one of those things which are just strange. Very strange. I can't figure out how it can charge 8 hours here and go back to the customer's house and don't charge at all. But he'll bring it back in the morning and we'll go from there.
Sounds like a strange one. Is it one of those customers who's forgot to plug it back in or something like that?
Well, I did ask him, was he using the same plug socket at home? You know, I thought maybe there's an issue with the socket. I don't know. I will post in the morning is when he comes down here, and if it charges straight away again, I don't know at that stage. I'm at a loss besides replacing the battery, but it's just not feasible at that price. A new hard drive, new battery, not worth it. So don't know, it could be a motherboard issue, but it's just so strange that it didn't even give us one tiny iota of a problem, you know?
Right, yeah, I'm going to say that is definitely a strange one, but you get those now and again. It's those intermittent faults, which are a pain in the backside sometimes.
Totally.
Works absolutely fine. You get these machines what crash, and when you go around look at it, you can have it for a week or 2 weeks, run it constantly, never crashes, and as soon as the customer's got it back, it crashes, and it's like, God almighty. But yeah, that's how it goes. Let's quickly go through the chat before we go any further. So, okay, so Facebook user said, hey everyone, use a CRM project management database. I use TeamWave. This is Nicole with Cellbotics, in case you didn't know. Yeah, Nicole's been on the show before in the past. Hi, Nicole. I hope you're doing well. Good tip there. CRMs are generally pretty good thing to do. It's better than using a piece of paper to make all your notes, to be honest with you. And we've also got Will on as well. So we've got Will I Am he's changed his name to Willie Mern now, I think, with all the Will I Am stuff going wrong. But good evening all. Hope everyone's doing well. We've got Alison from EADR in Norfolk. Hi, Alison. We've got a Facebook user saying evening all, and we've also got Robert saying evening as well. And as I've put in the chat, if you see that link, what I've put, if you are a Facebook user, just click that link and it'll ask you to basically, do you want to approve this so your name can be shown in the chat? We've also got Richard Creedy. I see what's just Richard Creedy, sorry, who just popped up, as well as Kunal saying, evening everyone from ILGS, which is I Love Going Shopping. I must admit, I do like that name, and we've also got Bolt PC saying giving a wave as well, and Brian saying hi everyone. Brian from Digital Promo as well. I think I got everyone there. If I didn't, sorry if I missed you. Right, on to my tip, news, story, whatever of the day. Let me put this on. If you missed the preview at the beginning, you will find that this is now live. Okay, so if you didn't know, the Tech Awards are back for this year. They are sponsored by PAX 8. So if you don't know who PAX 8 are, they do a lot of software and different bits like that. They're basically a software distributor. Let me just close the chat so we can enlarge it. So there you go. So that is now live. So you just go to the website, which is techfortex.co.uk/awards. I'll put that on a sliding thing at the bottom of the screen as well. Basically, to start off with, it's for nominations. It's 22 awards this year, up from 17 last year. So there's more awards available. There's quite a few in there, specifically for some of the distributors. Yeah, there's Alison. There's a few for distributors, vendors, as well as stuff like best in-store internal displays and stuff like that, best website, online shop, social media, all sorts. Basically, there's something for vendors, distributors, and normal repair shops or call-out services. Everything's in there. So just make sure, obviously, you go there and nominate. Again, this is just nominating, so there's no point going on there 100 times and nominating yourself 100 times. It's not actually voting for yourself. You're just nominating yourself. So you only need one nomination to get through to the next round. And the next round, basically, then people will vote. The top 5 go through to the final, which will be on the 1st, unless anything changes, of December, which will be on a live show, which we'll do like we did last year. So again, it's nominations at the moment. You don't have to do anything else. Just put your name down, other people's names down, whoever you want to. Just feel free to nominate them. So it's pretty straightforward. And the winner, as you can see, gets a nice little award, a bit like Lewis has got there, and the guys at Target, as well at Automotive and so forth, you'll get a nice little award like that, and you can show it off and tell all your local customers as well as newspapers, radio stations that you've been voted for or nominated as the best of the best. Right.
That's
Let me get-
so it's 1st December. It's a year already since the first awards. Wow.
Well, 1st of December will be, so yeah, so it's coming around pretty quick. It's been basically 8 months already.
All right, better start campaigning. So,
Believe it or not, it's been a month since TechMax
Is
already.
it?
Talking about TechMax, actually,
oh, there's
gonna
a
have a-
big. What?
that was a run-up.
Yeah.
We're going to be having a live show next week. We will be announcing on that live show the date, the location, and basically all the other information about the actual event next year. So make sure you tune in next Thursday at 8 o'clock. If you don't, well, you're not going to find out. But tickets will also be available then as well. So if anything like last year, if you are interested in going, I suggest you get the tickets ASAP, because especially the evening tickets, they went like, I don't know, I think it took us about 2 weeks to clear all the evening tickets last year. So if that, we had to actually hire an extra room. But it's a completely different venue. I'm not going to say where or what or anything at the moment. We'll announce all that next week. But all I'll say, it's going to be a lot larger than this year's. Right, let's get on to the main topic. So if anyone does want to comment, if I've missed anyone, I think we missed a couple of hellos there. So howdy, how you doing? But otherwise, if anyone wants to comment, just comment below. Give us your timekeeping tips and different bits and stuff like that, and we'll give you a shout out. Right, let's have a look, see what we've got. So we've got one question. What did come in? Actually, I've just noticed. Watch one of your live show streams a few weeks ago. Tablet glass suppliers. What's their company website again? I'm just trying to think who would that.
I don't
that
have a
would have
clue.
been now. We've had that many shows on just recently. I'm just trying to remember who we've had on. Let's have a look. I'll get you the details up now. Videos, live shows. It was okay. Doesn't want to show me. So past live streams. Last one would have been Replace Base. So I'm not sure what their web address is off the top of my head, but it was Replace Base. So make sure you check that out. Right, let's get on with the main topic then. So I'm going to start with you first, Cormac.
Well, it's only me, really. So let's go. Yeah.
Well, I could have started with myself. So
Phil, do you ever watch the Muppet Show? The two old guys who used to argue on the Muppet Show. You're too young for that, are you?
I remember the Muppet Show, but I must admit I didn't watch it that much.
Yeah, they're too old. Guys behind us. Anyway, go on.
So you're first. So your tip and advice of the day.
I done that. We're talking about time now, are we not?
Time. Yes.
Time. Yes. There we go. Yeah. Okay. I'm a time Nazi. I really am a time Nazi, and I would imagine actually. I know it's a couple of people I met at the group there. Alison probably is a time Nazi as well. So in the concept, I'll talk about time keeping first, and how important it is for business. If I have an appointment with a business, and if it's a new business, I will actually drive to the place and be there a half an hour early, or even an hour early if it's a big business. No, not every time. If it's a new business client, I will go down there, just to make sure that I have the right address. I can go away for a cup of coffee after that, and I come back, because I'm never ever late for a meeting. I don't, and I find it. I take it as an insult if people are late for a meeting. With us as well. A couple of things about the meetings then as well is that I will only meet the person. If we're going out to site, I will only meet the decision maker and the person paying the bills. I don't want to meet people further down the chain. It has happened to me a couple of times that you're going out to meet someone. I got really, really annoyed lately. I didn't get annoyed to their face, but I was like, I ain't using them. They're they're not going to be. I'm not going to be their tech. I went over to have a meeting with the owner of a business. She rang to say that she won't be there after arranging a meeting, and that I could talk to basically, I think it was a student. And I went in and I said no, I'm going away, because there was no point at that stage. I know I sound a bit grumpy about that, but I'm very busy. I don't have time for this. If there's going to be a meeting, it has to be the people involved. The other thing that I have, and this is not a steadfast rule, but time is money. Okay. If we're if a person rings up for a new business, not always, but a lot of the time, I will say that yes, we'll come out on site and look, but there's an €85 consultancy fee, which will be knocked off the price if we go ahead, if we both parties go ahead. The reason that is in case is because I have to drive sometimes maybe an hour to a business, and you're just going out for a quote, okay? And if I'm going out for a quote, I'm actually I'm consulting with them and telling them what they need. It's going to take up an hour of my time to tell them what they need inside a place. They'll need this upgraded, they'll need that, this, and whatever. And the situation is they're getting a lot of free knowledge that they can work out, and also gets rid of time wasters, because anytime I've put this into place, I got the contract. There was a company, they have around 20 computers. They rang me to go out and have a look at it. Now I knew what happened with this previous tech firm. The previous tech firm, without going into too much details, their owner was jailed, and I had gone to a client. I didn't know this at the time. I went out to a client. I went out there. There was loads of computers out there. There was no documentation. There was no nothing. It was next to an impossible job. So I told him this out straight. I said, look, the situation being is that the last time I arrived there was no documentation, there was no nothing. So it will take me a couple of hours to go through your stuff. They're a big company, and I told them there was an €85 call-out charge. If they didn't want to pay that, which apparently they didn't, or else they were just ringing up, I wasn't going to go out on site, and they didn't get back to me, and I didn't regret it in 1 minute. If a company who's about to spend thousands of pounds can't have a consultancy charge, then to me, they were going to be mean clients anyway. I'm sure there's people in the chat now who will think that I missed up on a big opportunity. I don't think so in the least. Concerning timekeeping for jobs, I would love to hear some people's views, maybe in the chat, and come in. I am trying to get to time jobs now. I use Synchro Timer to note when I'm on site and when I'm doing this and all that. But when it comes to time keeping up jobs, I am definitely losing out on money because I'm not timing them and pricing them right. I would imagine if I'm doing, we'll say, 8 hours work for a company, I would imagine I might be losing 2 to 3 hours by not timing it right. So if anyone has any tips on the timing of that, it's just we're so busy at the moment. We were on the podcast there only a couple of weeks ago talking about us all being quiet. Well, I was quiet at that stage. Well, I just literally, I'm so busy at the moment. I don't have time to do anything, even socializing at this stage, So time is money. And that's what I'm learning as I go on in business, is time is money. And someone asked me before, they said, are you busy? This is last year or the year before. And I said, I'm up the walls. And he goes to me, he was a business owner, and he goes to me, but are you making money? And there's a difference between busy and making money. And in the last couple of years now, I'm really trying to tighten up and every bit of time that I'm doing something else is it's costing me money, So yeah, that's it. And I'll come back in and say another couple of things about time there. I'll just let Phil talk, so we'll change it up a little bit for a couple of minutes.
That's absolutely no problem there, Cormac. You got some good advice. So I'm guessing you could probably talk about this subject for a good few hours, and we haven't got that long, unfortunately. So one of the first things I do when a lot of people tell me that they're having issues with the time is ask them, how much does an hour of your time cost? So what's an hour worth to you? Do you know what an hour is worth to you, Cormac?
Yes, I have my hourly charge. I do, but the situation being is that I'm not charging for every hour, which I should be. I should really be breaking it up into 15 to 30 minute slots, I would imagine. Um, there's just bits that like here, for example, I remoted into a customer last week, and I left them saying, look, you have to buy Microsoft for Business, I think €99. I left a link on the desktop. I got a call off the accountant the next day. She said that they only bought the online version of Office because they wanted to save themselves a couple of quid. And I was like, look, the situation is, I told you the one to buy. I had to remote back in. We had to sort out which office. I didn't bill for that. That took me another 45 minutes. That took me because the guy didn't want to pay an extra couple of quid a month. Now that certainly should have been billed. That certainly should have been billed. And I got cranky over it. Now they're good customers, don't get me wrong, but I got cranky. I was saying, because someone wanted to save themselves a couple of quid a month, I just lost an hour of my time. An hour of my time be 85, €95 an hour. That's a lot of money to be losing.
Hmm. Yeah, exactly. What I'm going to say is, if you don't know how much an hour of your time is worth, then that's obviously for the people viewing. I'm pretty sure Cormac's got it figured out. Let's just say if you were working for someone else, let's just say you were employed by PC World or somewhere like that you would get like an hourly wage, and that would be basically how much you're worth per hour of work. Now, it's quite hard to figure that one out if you're self-employed, because obviously you'll have an hour where you don't get paid for and an hour you do and so forth. But the best way to figure that number out is basically what you do is get let's work this one out. So basically what you do is basically get the amount of hours you work a week, okay? So, and then you times that number.
Okay, Phil's got missing there for a while. So while we're in the interlude, how's everyone going? Yeah, the timing there, which Phil is probably talking about as well, is that, like, I saw an interesting post there with people during the week that they, on the tech group, that they gave someone, sorry, Phil, I just was filling in the gaps there.
Feel free. I don't know what
Yeah,
happened there.
there was an interesting post during the week and we'll come back to you there. But there was an interesting post during the week on the Tech for Tech group where someone gave someone phone support for an hour, and they were asking should they bill for it. And my answer to that always is that if a painter came to your house and painted for an hour, would he bill for that? First of all, he wouldn't come to your house to paint for an hour for free. So I think we sometimes don't bill enough. Now, there, I fill in the interlude. We'll hand it back to Phil.
Cheers for that. I'm not sure what happened there, but that's been live and technology for you. We all know it can mess up. But yeah, so basics, if you want to work out how much you're worth, basically per hour, is get the amount of hours you work a week, okay? And then times it by, say, 52, because that's how many weeks are on a year. And then basically divide your total income by that number. So let's just say you work 6 hours a day. Okay, looks like you have a big lunch or something, maybe 6 hours a day, 5 days a week. Okay, which is, say, 30 hours, which isn't a lot. Obviously, you need to add your own numbers in there. And then you times that by 52 weeks, which is 1,560. And then basically you divide your business income by that number. So let's just say your number, a nice round number, is 50,000 was your business income last year. Basically, you divide that number by the 1,560, and you'll notice that your hourly worth is £32 and 5 pence. So basically, that tells you how much your hourly sort of rate is divided by your overall income throughout the year, because obviously some hours you charge for, some you don't, some you're doing work, you're doing your books, you're doing your accounts, whatever, maybe artwork, design, and so forth. So what you need to do, let's just say let's just round that number up to 50 quid. Let's just say your hourly worth is £50, and let's just say you needed some artwork doing, and you're going to do that artwork for yourself. So let's just say you need to design some posters, websites, whatever it may be, and it takes you 2 hours. If your hourly worth is £50, that's 2 hours of that. That's £100. Well, wouldn't it be cheaper just to go and get someone else to do it for you, like going to fiverr.com or something along that lines? Might cost you 20 quid for the artwork, takes them 5 minutes, which saves you takes you 5 minutes to do that. It saves you an hour and 55 minutes. So you have to basically work out what is actually worthwhile you doing, rather than sending it to someone else, or doing it yourself, should I say. So it can work out a lot cheaper getting someone else to do the work, offloading the work, and that goes for an accountant as well. You might find that you'll save time. Okay, it's going to cost you a few quid to get an accountant to do your books for you, but think of how many hours you would normally spend doing that. It's probably going to work out a lot cheaper, getting, obviously, in terms of how much it's actually you're going to be spending time-wise, as in your hourly billing rate, whichever it may be. So you might be best sending, obviously, your work off to an accountant or whoever it may be. And obviously, if you're sending it to an accountant, they're probably going to save you money on tax and stuff like that anyway, because they can find all the loopholes and, well, probably not loopholes, but or they know the laws and the land better than you do. Obviously, that's their full-time job. So in basics, what I'm saying there is basically figure out your worth per hour and figure out if it's worth you doing it or getting someone else to do it for you who can probably do it better, saves you time, and you get a better result where you can actually spend more time on other things what you need to spend your time on.
That's a good point, because like we go into business and we sell time. People are busy, so busy is that we go in and one of the sales pitch to the office is, look, you're spending this length of time trying to sort out your tech. Yeah, you're losing staff hours. We'll come in, we'll sort it out fast. So yes, we should do that ourselves. Phil, I have a question for you. When you're how, like I see Will there, using Synchro for timing. What did you have an app that you used to time on a job, doing up a computer or something? How did you break down your time at the costs?
I work out my time is when I arrive at a job. Basically, if it's 12 o'clock and I finish at 1 o'clock, I know it's taking me an hour.
Yeah, I know, but you don't have a time. You've never had a timekeeping app, as in there's certain jobs, like I'm doing a migration of emails here now. That's going to take. I'm really, really trying to log that time. I'm just logging down the hours in Synchro as well. Like, but I know there's literally people who's walking around with an area stopwatch.
Yeah,
about timing.
I don't really do a stopwatch. Obviously, if you got one of those going, it sort of puts you under pressure as well as the customer if they're on a budget and so forth. I think it might make them hurry up sometimes. I might be wrong, and want you out of there before you've actually done the job. But generally, most jobs I'm usually at an hour or less, and I basically bill by the half of hour after the first hour. So,
Do you?
If it's something where I'm going to have to take it away, then we'll have a set charge on that anyway. So let's just say you needed a new SSD and you're doing data transfer and migration or whatever it may be, and then bringing it back, we'd have a set cost for that, rather than billing per hour. It's quite hard to bill per hour on something.
No, I know, I agree with you. There's, like, you're certainly not going to be billing per hour on certain things, as in there is things we have to eat, if you're updating computers, but then you could be updating 4 or 5 computers in one go.
Exactly.
So Will is saying Synchro has an app for the phone. On a ticket, you can start and stop time per ticket. Just remember to start and stop it. This is very true, but will also agree with me that app, I'm a big fan of Synchro, but their app is diabolical. Absolutely diabolical. So yeah, I haven't done it that way yet. The other thing is, I do tell clients as well that we work fast. It's more in our benefits to keep the bills down with customers, and also there's no point me staying inside for 3 or 4 hours just to pad time. I have another job lined up afterwards. You don't particularly want to be on site for 3 or 4 hours anyway. I don't love being on site. I like it, but I want to be gone as soon as possible.
It's good points there. Will saying, let's have a look. Synchronize the app on the phone, on the ticket. You can start and stop time per ticket. Just remember to start or stop it, as he said. And he says a free app needs work. I'm presuming he means the app needs sees some work. But yeah, I've not used that, to be honest with you, the Synchro app. So it's not something I've looked at. But
Don't,
it's definitely something to keep
is
in mind.
all I could say.
Is it that bad? Is it?
And I'm a big fan of Synchro, so don't use the app. It's just, and it has potential, but they just seem to have forgotten about it. It's just not worth it.
Don't get me wrong, I like Synchro, I like Repair Shopper, but them updating old software, I've been stung with them in the past with a couple of products. That's don't get me
Kabuto and
wrong.
stuff.
It was what was it, Kabuto, yeah, and their Repair Bench or whatever it was called.
Yeah,
It was
I remember I used that for a while as well, which was
yeah.
really crap.
So they
But
sort
no,
of
Synchro is good.
they make it, sell it, and then suddenly they move on to something else. So that's why I've always been a little bit wary of some of their things now and again, because you just don't know. And it seems like Repair Shoppers go in the same way. They're pushing Synchro rather than Repair Shopper and so forth. So I wouldn't be surprised if Repair Shopper sort of gets migrated into Synchro or just disappears after a certain date. Probably not soon. It'd probably be years down the line, but I have a feeling that may happen at some point.
Well, to be fair, that's probably a natural. Now, the first couple of things you mentioned were if you were invested, but that then tools move on. They Kabuto and all those were things move on past that. That's all right. If you have all your information on something like Synchro or Repair Shopper, then yes, there's a problem. But Repair Shopper at this stage you're right, move into Synchro because there's no need for a Repair Shopper. I don't even know what the difference in price is, but Synchro is just Repair Shopper on steroids.
Yeah, that's it. And I suppose it just needs time for a lot of people to get to learn how to use the new one and transfer all the stuff over from one to the other. But I think it's just one of those things. A lot of people are set in the way sometimes, which we're probably not in the best best, I don't know, we're probably not the best sort of companies and stuff to really be stuck in time. We need to move with the time, to be honest.
Yes, we do. So that's, yeah, we do. But as you know yourself, some tools are good some years, some tools are bad other years, Blue Boat there has an interesting question if you want to read it out.
Yeah, so Blue Bolt saying, with data recoveries, how do people charge for this? Is it the whole time for the data is transferring, taking into account the electricity and wear and tear on a PC? For me, we charge, if it's just what we call software data recoveries and it's basic stuff, we charge for the amount. So if it's under 500 gig, it'll be a certain amount. If it's under, say, 10 terabytes, a different amount. If it's going to be over more than that, then obviously it'll charge you more. So it's more to do with the amount of data we're transferring rather than time. Because a lot of the times once you start the data recovery, you just leave it running on a machine in the background and come back the next day and it's done, or depending on what it is. So you're actually, the amount of time you're actually spending on it is very little, and the amount of electricity and wear and tear is probably for a day on a PC is very minimal in costs, for more than likely.
I don't like, it depends what you regard as data recovery. I don't do data recovery. I'll send it on. But if you're talking about taking data off a machine in general, if you set up fabs and if the drive is okay, it's just doesn't really matter about the amount of data. Fabs will take it all off and you can go away and work on other machines. So unless it's a massive high amount, I build that into the same price as we're putting in a new SSD into it. I won't spend my time. I gave up. I won't spend my time if the drive doesn't read or is causing trouble and they definitely need the data. Then it's off to the expert. I'm not an expert.
Yeah, that's what we do, to be honest with you, is if it's going to be what we class as a hardware repair, as in it sounds like there's something wrong or they dropped it or whatever it may be, then we'll get it sent off to a data recovery expert. And there's plenty in the probably watching the show at the moment, so if they want to shout themselves out or anyone wants to shout them out, feel free. I'm not going to basically pick one over another, but there's plenty of them out there. I know who Cormac would use, but I'm not going to basically side with one or the other. But software-wise, I class that as best one to put is if someone had accidentally wiped the hard drive or done a reset on the machine or something, that is what I class as a software data recovery. I'd do those, but if it's making clicking noises or anything along that side of things, or the smart failures and whatever it may be, then yeah, it'll get sent off, or I'll recommend that they send it off to wherever it may be.
Just we were talking about tools there a second, Phil, while we're kind of on the subject. We have a couple of minutes anyway. There is one tool I'm slightly worried about, and I just renewed. It's a tool I use on every computer, and I love it. It's Malwarebytes Tech Bench. And I love it and love it, and I'd be lost without it. The only problem is that they don't seem to be as many updates coming for that tool as there used to be. I think Alex, who was probably the driving force behind the tool, is after moving to a different department there. Now, I could be just making all this up, but it's something I'm beginning to notice that I don't know how invested they still are in the tool. And now the tool is working absolutely perfect and I'm delighted with it, but I haven't seen any changes in the tool.
Yeah, totally agree there. We use it as well, and I've not seen anything check. Okay, it has updates. I think they're just like quality of life updates and stuff like that, and obviously definitions updates. But I've not seen any new features or redesigns or anything to write home about. Really, don't get me wrong; it still does the job and everything. But then again, what would they add? Is the question.
This is true, mate. This is a very good thing, because there's absolutely nothing that I'm kind of saying, oh, I wish it could do this. I wish it could, or it's lacking on that. No, it's got everything. It's just something, I don't know, we'll keep an eye on. And again, I'm not dissing the tool. I'm such a big fan of that tool. I really am. I think it's well worth the money. And you get the licenses as well. So that they'll always come in handy for something. We just renewed it there. And I'm not using Malwarebytes as an antivirus. I'm using MeSoft, but we got 30 free, I think 25 free licenses, and we paid 300 quid for the tool. And we were just doing up a soccer club. We had 15 or 20 of their computers, so I said just throw the licenses on there. So it would, that paid for the tool in itself, like.
Okay, so yeah, it's good point there. I'm going to say the pricing, I think, for the Malwarebytes is pretty good, because if you do resell the software, you've recouped the cost for the actual antivirus for actually buying the repair tool, basically.
And if you don't resell it, and we'll bring it right back to time again, because we're time lords, it saves you so much time that it's so cost effective. It's kind of like Fabs. Yeah, you can transfer the data. You can do that yourself. It's going to take you absolutely hours. And Fabs, I hope Fabs ain't watching the show, because that tool is just too cheap altogether. It's an amazing.
I've told him many times it's too cheap, and he says, "Oh, I just put it up," and he's like, he must have put it up by about €1 or something.
€1.
It still looks cheap.
You buy a 3-year license for like 70 or 80 quid.
Yeah, it's silly prices. Richard saying need them to add a UEFI scanner for Gigabyte and Asus boards. Is that MZSoft, or are you talking about Malwarebytes?
Richard is talking about.
I think, but he'll obviously clarify that in a few seconds. But because obviously there's roughly a 30-second delay on the stream when people type and they can see it. Right. Okay. So. Next thing, let's talk more about time saving. I've got is Well, one of the first things is there's no such thing as free time when you're working for yourself. You all probably know is no, you'll see a computer and you suddenly go back into computer repairman mode or repairwoman mode or whatever it may be. You see a business, you see something on TV, and you're thinking, "Oh, I wish I could do something like that," or "How can I do that?" Or you're thinking about your accounts or the jobs you got tomorrow or whatever. There's no such thing as I think of as free time, because we in the back of our heads we're always thinking about work. It's an unfortunate thing that self-employed people or even people who've got a small limited company maybe worry about. So one of the things what I always find is a thing what I call do not disturb, and this is basically when you work at home. So obviously, if you're repairing a shop, you could potentially do that as well if you've got a spare room and someone else is working the tills or whatever. But basically, consider putting a sign on your office door that says "Do not disturb," or have an understanding with others. So let's say it's your partner or kids or whatever. That when the door is closed, that means obviously you're working and not to disturb you, or even consider putting a lock on the door if your kids are that bad. Obviously make sure there's another parent in the house, so just in case. While doing that, you can also leave your phone outside of the room so you don't get distracted as well when you're doing your work, because how many times do you get a message pop up on your phone, you automatically look out and you'll go, "Oh, let's click that. Look, Cormac's just posted something on Facebook." You go, "Well, look at one of Cormac's crazy videos," and then 2 hours later, you suddenly realize you're looking at dancing cats on Facebook.
Yeah.
It's
Or
easy to
TikTok.
get distracted. You can just click on something on your phone. I've got notification now. If I click on that, then you're suddenly lost. Most of the time while you're working, you don't need your phone necessarily there. Put it on silent mode, turn it upside down so you can't see the notifications, something along that lines, or put it in a different room, especially if it's sort of out of hours where people don't need to be calling you. I would recommend obviously hiding distractions or getting rid of distractions. Even going along to stuff like, let's just say you work at home. Like I'm at the moment, the PC I'm working on is my office/home PC. So if I want to play a game, if I ever got time for it, I'd play it on this machine. If I'm doing photo editing or video editing, I'll be doing it on here. If I'm doing work, I'm doing it on here. Now, it's easy to, again, get notifications while you're in the middle of work, notification from Windows saying you've got a Facebook message or an email from someone on your personal account. And again, you get distracted. So either set your computer up so you've got two accounts on it. So you've got sort of a home and a work account. So when you're doing your work, you don't get notifications from your home emails and Facebook and whatever it may be. So you're keeping the two things separate, or as separate as can be. And then when you've done for the day, you can completely log out of your work side of things, turn that off, log into the other account for your playing your games, watching your movies, whatever you may be doing, watching cat videos, you can do that. So just try and keep the two separate, even if it means having two separate PCs is also an option as well.
Yep.
Do you do anything like that, Cormac?
No, I'm a devil. TikTok when I'm sitting down doing jobs. I'm a devil for just time wasting. Basically, yes, I'm guilty of time wasting. I'm spending half my time at the moment just on YouTube trying to decide whether I'm going to buy the new Nothing phone. You saw that, Phil, did you?
Oh, I've seen that mentioned. I've not watched anything about it, but I've seen it mentioned.
Yeah,
It
and
seems to be quite popular.
yeah, it's got flashing lights in the back of it. That's what it got. But I did break
Right.
I did break one of my phones the last day, so I might have an excuse to get one. Yeah.
So,
So
how many hours of footage have you watched about this new phone?
do you know, I would say around 10 hours because I look in the evening time. I like to watch about tech. I do. I do. I don't like watching Netflix. My problem is not working. My problem is to try to stop working. And
So,
I think I'm talking to someone who's much the same there, Phil.
mhm. So what I would say is go back to what I said originally about what's per hour of your time worth. let's just say it's worth 50 quid, and you've watched 10 hours worth of it, that means you've spent
Yeah, but some
£500
of this
worth of your time. You could have
I
just
yeah,
bought it.
I guys could have just bought it. Now you have one sec about timekeeping. You have one good point there. Well, you have quite a few good points, but one thing is that I think sometimes we can be a bit mean about paying for stuff ourselves. You see people going, "Oh, free tools, which is grand. We have all different budgets, and I didn't get around to this. But I was saying in a podcast there, I am going to start doing Google AdWords on a particular thing of sales. And I had been training years ago. Now I can sit down and watch another 10 hours of Google AdWord videos. I'm just going to hire a guy I know, a consultant, and I'm going to hire him for an hour, pay the 85, 95 euro, whatever it is an hour. I'm going to pay him. He'll give me tips. I will save myself money, and I will, more importantly, save myself time. So I am definitely throwing money at that problem to save myself time, you know?
That's it. I must admit that it's true. I think we all do it, and worst thing is for techs is we'll complain when a customer's gone and Googled something to figure out how to fix their own phone or tablet or whatever it may be. We'll complain about them, oh, they're Googling it or they've YouTubed it or whatever, and then we'll go and do exactly the same
Yeah.
thing about something else, whether it's accounts or marketing or whatever it may be. We end up Googling it and then basically trying to do it for free and wasting our time when someone else could have done it hell of a lot better for 20 quid or something, whatever the price might be. So yes, definitely. And hi, Carl, thanks for tuning in as well. And I do agree, William. Fabrice's products are absolutely brilliant for the price. It saves lots of times. So definitely. So there we go. And Richard makes a good point there. Right. So have you got any more tips then, Cormac?
No, I don't really. That's about it, really, in the sense that what the most important thing about this show really is that I'm going to be taken away. I'm going to be, first of all, looking properly what is CRM. I think Nicole said I must have a proper look at that. And the second thing is that I'm making a promise to myself to be a lot more time conscious, because I can't be working 14, 15 hours a day like this, because I was getting snappy with customers this week in my head. So next week it would have been a case of getting snappy with them straight to their face, which is just not good enough. So I have to watch time, manage more. But I'm also going on holidays Thursday week. So the way when you get towards close and get to holidays as well, it's time for holidays for me, you know.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know what you mean there. Let's have a look. So I've got one more thing on my list, and that's prioritizing your tasks. Do you ever prioritize your work, or have a board or sticky notes where you prioritize what work needs to be done?
Yes and no. Again, not organized enough. And again, I have a whiteboard, which I'm going to start doing inside here. Yes, I'm taking tips from this myself. Yeah, I'm going to have to. I definitely, this is a good topic for a show because it's making me think myself, you know?
Well, that's all it is. A lot of this stuff, what we mention on the shows, people know already, including myself, and it just
Yeah.
jogs your memory, going, "Oh yeah, I should be doing this," and I'm guilty of doing it sometimes as well. So I'm not an innocent party in this. But yeah, prioritizing tasks is a good thing. So obviously, you get like a noteboard, or even on on your computer in Windows, you've got sticky notes or whatever. You can make notes on there. You could put like a high priority list, a normal priority and low priority. So stuff you know you need to do, make sure it's on the high priority list and go through it like that. That's one way of doing it. So I would really recommend obviously a priority list. It does make things a bit more easier. All right, before we finish the show in a few minutes, guys, have you guys got any tips or advice or anything like that on how you do timekeeping? Is there anything special you do, what we've not mentioned, anything along that lines? Please let us know. Let's have a think. Another way, because there's a lot of people on here who watch the show who work at home, and it's easy to get distracted when you're at home and you're in that home mindset. Have you ever thought about possibly renting a small space or area or something somewhere, or even converting a garage to get you out of the house so you can actually spend more time with the work? Because you tend to find once you're in that, you come in your home door, you're sort of in that home mode, and obviously because you're in that home mode, you're obviously not getting your work done and so forth. Sometimes if you have that separate building, it might even be just renting a desk somewhere. You can rent desks for like probably about 50 quid or 100 quid or whatever it may be a month. Somewhere you just go in, take your laptop in, you work there. It just gets you out of the house. No kids ivering, bothering you. No wife nagging you to fix whatever it may be, or husband asking you to fix whatever it is. So having somewhere just outside of your house, as I said, even it might be even the bottom of the garden in a shed, it just gets you out of the way and you can concentrate on your work. Right, sounds like chat is very quiet tonight. Do you think we should remind him what's happening next week, Cormac?
Yeah, it's award time. It's a voting for the award time. No, it's Tech Max time. It's announcement time. It's announcement time. Tonight is award vote for everyone. Next week is Phil is announcing to the world, which by the way was absolutely outstanding. So come along. It's really, we want everyone there because it really is a friendly buzz. So come along, everyone, to the announcement first. And I don't know, it could be in Australia, Phil, it could be in China, or it could be in a place in England. Who's to say? We could be going off to Las Vegas. I don't know. Of course, it could be in England. Oh, it's not. It's in Crosshaven. Oh, wow. Down the road.
There we go. I think you must be paying for everyone to get over there then, Cormac.
Oh, yes, come to Ireland.
Come to Ireland.
Yeah, bring your passports, lads.
If everyone who was at TechMax went to Ireland, we must treble or quadruple the population of Ireland.
Well, quadruple the amount of nerds over here anyway, so that would help matters.
So, okay, for you guys who didn't understand that, with all the excitement of Cormac not knowing exactly what order or everything's happening in, we have started the awards. So the awards are now live. You can see that at the bottom of the screen. It's techfortech.co.uk/awards. You can nominate yourself, you can nominate someone else. You've got best techs in there, you've got best distributors, vendors, best reps, best websites, you name it. There's 22 awards. We've gone up from 17 up to the 22, so you've got an extra 5 awards there for a chance to win. So they're all new this year. Nominations are open now. In October, we'll go down to basically voting, and then the winners or whatever will be announced on the live show on the 1st of December.
Right, just checking out there. All right, excellent. We're all good to go. This is great. I see you have best looking Irishman. Wow. Oh no, Graham could win that one yet, man. Graham could win that.
Quickly share the screen again. So there we go. So window, Chrome tab, awards. There we go. So everyone who didn't see it before, these are basically the awards and stuff. What's up? So you've got the Tech for Tech. Let me increase the size even more. So. No, wrong one. Don't want my big face on that. There we go. So you got best distributor, you got best gaming distributor, you got best refurbished tech distributor, best account manager, again distributor, best distributor website, best customer service for a vendor, distributor, or outsourced business. If you're not sure what an outsourced business, that's when you send off your work to get repaired somewhere else. Let's just say, for example, last year, Alison at EADR, I think she was the one who won that one, which is the nice lady on the right there. Or it could be someone who does PCB repairs or something like that. We've also got best vendor rep on there as well. You've got best component vendor, best peripheral vendor, best gaming vendor, networking, software, and again, best outsourced data recovery and so forth. We've also got what we class as the tech type awards down here. So you've got best in-store internal display. So if you've got a decent looking shop, you can take a picture of your internal display, and that can get, obviously you nominate yourself, and we'll get you through to the voting stage. You've got best automotive signage. So if you've got stickers or signage on your car, van, truck, whatever it may be, bicycle, even if you're on a bicycle, or mobility scooter, even, you never know. So you've got best shop front as well. So obviously the front of your shop, what does it look like, and so forth. Do a picture of that. Best repair bench. You don't have to be a shop for this one. You could be a call out service. You could have a repair bench at your home or in an office or whatever. So again, take a picture of that. You got best website, and this is the non-online store version. So if you've got a website and you don't have an online store, you can basically nominate yourself for that. We've got an online store version as well, which is obviously for people who have got an online store. Best social media. I wonder who won that last year. And then we got community expert as well, which I think Peter won that last year, if I remember right. And another one is best marketing idea, not online. So obviously you've got to explain what it is and upload any files associated with it. Let's just say you did something at your store or your community or something like that. Then there you go. So that's for the Tech Awards. The nominations are now open. You can get them on the website, which is techfortex.co.uk/awards, or just go for the Tech for Text website and click on the big button what says awards, and it'll take you straight there. Otherwise, to finish the show off, let me just close that one. And we've got, when I can find it, coming up next week, we're going to be talking about TechMax. So it's a show we're going to tell everyone where it's going to be this year, or should I say next year, where it's going to be. The date, we're going to tell you a bit of information about it, what we've come up with. We've took a lot of your advice from previous shows and from your feedback. But basically, it's going to be a lot larger venue. So it is a new venue. And we'll be announcing next week where it is. And I know everyone's curious about whereabout in the country it is, if it can be down south, if it can be up north, if it can be east, west, wherever. Well, you're going to find out next week where it's going to be. So, and that's going to be Thursday at 8 o'clock. Right, Cormac, have you got anything you would like to add?
No, hasta la vista. I'm only saying
right,
that.
so you
To
should
annoy
be
you politically. Just to annoy your political people. Right, that's it. Over and out.
Right, thank you very much, Cormac. I'm just going to leave everyone with the small video about the awards. So otherwise, we'll see everyone next week. So it'll be Thursday, 8 o'clock. Me and Jen will be on the show, and we'll be telling you about TechMax next week. So see you later, everyone. See you next time.
Bye.